I think at this point we can move on to the game. So it was music to my ears to hear that Gary doesn't want to talk about football because this game is absolutely nothing to do with football. It's one of the best pun names since Hellman's Mayonnaise, and Hugh has come up with this wonderful little offering.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's play Seconds Before Carnage with Gary Barnidge.
So, Gary, what we've got is a few videos for you that I've cleaned off the internet of Carnage. I will send you the initial few seconds and you can tell me what you think is going to happen. We will say that, as far as we're aware, no humans, animals, or anyone else got harmed in the making of
Which is
these
hard
videos.
to believe.
So, Gary, first video on the way. I'll set the scene. This first video is somewhere like Siberia or Russia. There is a man in a JCB and a couple of very mean men in a small green car. Mean men go and accost the JCB driver. Gary, what happens next?
So what do I think is going to happen now?
Right.
So I 100% think the crane operator is going to crush the car in some way, because that's what I would do.
After you've just been beaten up by a couple of Russian thugs, Gary Barnidge, as crane operator, would crush the car. Roll the clip.
Correct. So that's what? 1-0?
Yeah, so that's 1-0. So
Nailing it.
You're doing very well. Next up, this is a slightly shorter video. We have just 3 cars going down the road. Gary, what do you think happens?
Seconds Before Carnage, what happens? What's the carnage?
Let's see. Ooh, I definitely think one of them's going to get clipped and it's going to end up flipping. I think the white car is going to get clipped by the black one and it's going to get flipped.
Okay, so Gary's betting that the white car gets flipped. Gary, of course it does. It also seemingly blows up out of nowhere.
Seconds Before Carnage, Gary Barnidge storming through this game.
Yeah, I don't understand how that happened.
Okay, here's the next one. Slightly longer one. This is just 2 guys like me and Hugh got a couple of coffees from Starbucks getting into a lift, or as Gary would say, an elevator. Gary, what happens next?
Okay, I think something's going to happen with the elevator. It's probably going to rapidly drop.
And what? And they'll just die, even though I said no
I
one
don't think
dies.
they'll die, but I do think they're going to get shot up a little bit. And one of them looks like he's carrying coffee, so it might get all over him, which I'm sure is pretty hot.
So, okay, so mainly something's going to happen and the coffee's going to go everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, Gary, watch the clip and tell me if what happens is what you thought was going to happen. I don't think that Gary's guess gets him a point.
Okay.
But let's see.
I agree. I think it's a half point. I think it's a half point because the coffee still went everywhere. But yeah, there's nothing that would lead you to believe that would be what happened.
Okay, we'll give you a draw. So Gary is 2-0-1 to start the season.
Next up, it's a classic. It's a warehouse. That's all I'm going to say.
I would have to say, because these videos always usually go the same, somehow all the pallets are going to fall on top of them, or he's going to knock over the whole pallets. Something's going to happen with the pallets. They're going to fall.
Well, let's watch and see what happens.
Seconds Before Carnage, it's obviously that.
This is the only one where I can't guarantee the person didn't die.
Yeah, there's a lot of carnage. There's serious carnage.
And I watched this with Willie the other day when I said, shall we send this to Gary Barnidge? She's like, that's brilliant. I said, imagine if we did this and she walked in. Imagine if that was our warehouse.
That is ridiculous. It's Domino's. It's literally Domino's.
Absolutely. And from that warehouse carnage, we have 2 more, from the mundane to the ridiculous.
So we're 3-0-1, still waiting for our first loss.
Right, we're in Starbucks.
More
Gary
coffee.
Barnidge, what happens? There is more coffee.
Coffee-related carnage.
And I'm going to need more than the coffee spills.
For some reason, I feel like this person's going to throw it at the person that's working because they don't like the way it looks. I don't know why they even took the top off, but that'd be my guess. Because why are you taking the top off? I don't know why you're taking the top off.
To prove a point, this is America, Gary.
Well, let's see.
Again, I'm going to take a draw on that one because half of it went on them. Here's how I'm going to spin it now. The owner of the coffee said, hey, I need more of this. And so technically, they forced it to be shot on the girl. So I think that's why I deserve a draw.
Okay, draw it is.
Of all the things we've done, Gary, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, you're not going to get this one.
A little pool. What could be in the pool?
Gary Barnidge, what happens next?
I'm willing to bet there's an alligator. It looks like the guy that lives with an alligator and does shows. So that's my guess. I'm going to guess there's an alligator.
I'm not going to lie to you, that's what I thought. But I think we've got your first loss of the game.
A giant fish. It looks multiple.
Multiple giant fish.
Okay. So what's making them jump out of the water?
Well,
These are the questions we need answering.
looks like Gary's got a bit more world traveling to do to figure out why the fish
The
fly.
jumping fish of the Zambezi.
Now, that's the last one, Gary. You do win. You can be very happy. That smile is well earned. I was thinking of including another one where the first video was just you walking up to some steel drums.
That's terrible.
For those that don't know, it's Amazing Race. Did it with D'Angelo Williams.
We'll find a clip from somewhere.
Yeah.
Bing.
Center. All right.
Anyway, I think, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it.
Call it a day with Gary
That's a Pro
Barnidge.
Bowl. That's a Pro Bowl. Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on, brother. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank y'all for having me on.